Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and the Blackhawks have picked up 2 more wins on the road. The first game in Detroit is one that you just kind of want to forget about. They did end up picking up the win in overtime. P.S. Suter on the end of his shift got on the 2-on-1 with Dominik Kubalik. You could see he was dead tired, but he kept moving his feet, got that odd man rush, got the puck over to Kubalik, who put the puck between Thomas Greiss' pads. After a game that they probably should not have won, seeing that goal go in overtime was just so, let's see, what do I want to call it? Relieving? Sure, even the worst teams in the league are going to lose sometimes, but losing to the Detroit Red Wings is a whole nother level of that sucks. Not only are they one of the worst teams in the league, they're one of the Blackhawks' most historic rivals. So losing to them when they're this bad would just not be good. But they won that game, and then we come into tonight's game again against the Detroit Red Wings, again in Detroit. And the Blackhawks wanted to go 2 straight against them and on the road to start off this road trip. So let's go over the questions that I had to talk about how this one went. Question number 1. Will they start the game with a good pace? Whew, they certainly did not on Monday night, but they came into this one tonight and they started off a lot better. On Monday, it looked like they didn't even know that the game had started yet. The only person who knew that the game had started was Malcolm Subban, who was in net for that game. The rest of the team, I don't know where they were. They were still at the restaurant eating their pre-game meal or something. But tonight, they were on the rink for the start of the game, and they started a lot better. It wasn't the best first period, but it was light years better than the first game against Detroit. Question number 2. Will Brandon Hagel stay on the second line? So, Monday night's game saw Brandon Hagel put on the second line with Dylan Strome and Dominik Kubalik. His hustling and his play led to a Kubalik goal, and being the hard-working player that he is, and a guy who does set up plays for his teammates, this just seems like a good line for him. I could really see him being the ideal line mate for Kubalik. He's somebody that will work the boards, and he will get those chances for him. If Kubalik can just get to an open spot on the ice, the puck will find him and he can put it in the back of the net. Who knows how long this line combination will last, but he was back with them tonight, and I want to see it going forward, at least for a few games, to see if it really does work. They didn't end up putting up a point tonight, but you can't get one every night. As good as that would be and as good as that would feel for the players, it's just not gonna happen. Maybe in the next game. Question number 3. Will they come into Wednesday night pissed off because of how they played on Monday, or will they be complacent because they still got the win? Well, I wouldn't say they were necessarily angry about Monday night's game, at least according to their play. During the post-game interviews on Monday, they certainly were, but according to their play on the ice tonight, I wouldn't say they were angry, but they looked a lot better. Patrick Kane especially, he was getting chances all over the front of the net there. None of them went in, but I could see that translating into good things here against Carolina. One thing you can say is that they definitely weren't complacent tonight. They were getting good chances. Yes, Detroit was getting some too, but the defense was good. Kevin Lankinen, oh my gosh, he was amazing. And they secured the win because of it. This was a much better game. Oh yeah, and Kevin Lankinen got his first career NHL shutout. As the time was winding down, you just had that sense of, oh no, are they gonna do it for him or not? This team has been very bad at getting their goaltenders shutouts. Corey Crawford probably should have had at least a dozen more on his career, but one gaffer, another, and the puck ended up behind him. But they did it tonight. They got the shutout for Kevin Lankinen, and you just have to feel so happy for the guy. He works so hard out there, and he's such a nice dude. It just feels good. He's definitely cemented himself as the Blackhawks starting goaltender this season. I don't think anybody saw that coming into this one. It was pretty much a toss-up between Malcolm Subban and Colin Delia, and then in comes Kevin Lankinen, and he says, nope, that is my crease, actually. And he took it, and he has just run with it. So that was tonight's game. Next up, on their road trip, they head down to Carolina to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. The last series against them was a pretty good one. It showed that the Hawks are a competitive team this season. The Carolina Hurricanes are one of the faster teams in the league, and they're one of the teams that can really score goals at will sometimes. The first game against the Hurricanes this season was a 4-3 loss in the shootout. The second game was a 6-4 win. So those are very high scoring games. I don't know if we'll see that going into these 2 games. The Hawks haven't really given up a whole lot lately. Of course, there was that one 6-5 loss on my birthday that they did have. Because of course they did. But other than that, they haven't scored a whole lot of goals, and they also haven't given up a whole lot of goals, clearly, because they're like 7-2 in their last 9 games. Okay, it's probably 7-1-1, but still, same thing. Which, can we just talk about for a second how crazy that is? This team, the one that we labeled as being a bad team coming into this season, is now 7-1-1 in their last 9 games. What in the world? I don't know. I don't have any explanation for this one. I'm just enjoying the ride. Mostly. It's also very stressful, but I am enjoying it overall. So, with those 2 games behind us, let's move into my 3 questions for game number 1 of this next series against the Carolina Hurricanes. Question 1. Can the Blackhawks get the power play back on track? So, maybe this is a bit nitpicky. They did go 1 for 3 tonight. Philip Kurashev's goal was on the power play, and on Monday they went 0 for 3. So they are 1 for 6 in their last 2 games, which isn't great. But of course, it wasn't going to stay as hot as it was forever. But it would be really nice to see them get on the score sheet more than just once a game on the power play. Granted, they did have a bunch of 4-on-4 time in this one. The penalties were negated going both ways, sending them into 4-on-4, which seems to be a thing that the Ice Hogs also really enjoy doing lately. So I don't know if they're just trying to be a copycat of each other, but I don't like it. It's especially frustrating when the Blackhawks or the Ice Hogs start on the power play and then it ends up being 4-on-4, because that means that one of them took a penalty while they were on the power play. So, can the Blackhawks get the power play back on track and score more than 1 goal per game? Or 0 like they did on Monday. Question 2. Will they take the positivity from these first 2 road games and apply them to the rest of the road trip? Like I said, the first game in Detroit is one that you can really just forget about. The effort really wasn't great at all. But they came back from that one and didn't allow a single goal. And between the 2 games, they ended up with 4 points either way, and that is a lot to be happy about. So will they take the good feelings and the good things that they've done during these 2 games and apply them to the other 4 games that they still have to play on the road? The first 2 are in Carolina. The last 2 of the road trip are in Columbus. We can only hope that they do, but those are 2 difficult opponents. They are a lot better teams than the Detroit Red Wings. But the first series against Detroit did kick off some good habits and a winning streak for the Blackhawks, so maybe this one will as well. But the first series against Detroit kickstarted some good habits for the Blackhawks and really got them into the winning mood, even though they lost the next 2 games in Nashville. After those 2 games, they recovered and looked a lot better. Question 3. Will Kevin Lankinen start a point streak? So this one's just more of a fun question, but he did get an assist tonight on Philip Kurashev's goal, and he did also pick up an assist on the overtime goal in that last game against Dallas. Of course, that's not a streak. There were games in between, but he has 2 points on the season so far, so will this last one that he just got start a point streak going forward? Who knows? That isn't as much up to him as it is up to his teammates, but it's a fun little thing to think about, especially coming off of a shutout win as well. So those are my 3 questions for the next game against the Carolina Hurricanes. Do you have any questions for this Blackhawks team? Do you have any observations of the season so far? I would love to hear them. Please leave those down in the comments below. If you would like to hear more from me or more from Center Ice, you can subscribe to this channel for some Blackhawks and Ice Hogs goodness, or you can head over to FromCenterIce.com. You can see game previews, post-game recaps, catch up with the latest podcast episodes, and more. You can also follow us on social media. All of those links are in the description of this video. With all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all after the next game. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or 2. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!